It's the Jake and Ben Show. 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 Oh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Jake and Ben Show. I'm Jake, and I'm here with Ben, and this is a later episode than usual. We usually like to get it up on the weekend, but now we're at the beginning of the week, but I'm to blame for that. But
yeah, come on. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just explain that really quick. The weather, we had like this abnormal freezing rainstorm, and I had a friend come over on the Saturday, I believe. And then he was supposed to go home, and then he couldn't because the roads were so bad where he lived. It wasn't that bad out here, but he's like half an hour away. And apparently out closer that way is really bad. And he couldn't leave, and I just didn't really want to record this podcast with him there, just, for both of our sakes. So, then you were busy yesterday, so it kind of just got pushed just a little late. But whatever, we still had content earlier. We had the Quiet Place review. So we've been around.
What? Yeah, speaking of that Quiet Place review, I'll talk about that real quick. Is nothing has changed of what I've said, but I only thought about it not too long. I just thought about what I gave a score to it, and I had to ask myself, is that really the right score I want to give it to? If you've listened to that, I'm at a 9 now. I even said it might change the more I think about it. There it is. It's final, and I'll move into something else. Okay. You know what's coming out next week?
Next week, just looking at the calendar now, it's Avengers.
Avengers Infinity War. Now, this is a little bit of week-old news, but I find it interesting. And there's a lot of things you can say to counter this. So Fandango, I believe, they released for Avengers Infinity War. It's currently outpacing the previous 7 MCU movies. Now, you hear, all right, so pacing the previous 7 MCU movies. Okay. But then the thing I was like, wow, is that it's the past 7 combined it's outpacing.
Oh,
and that's
shit.
Including Black Panther.
Oh,
and
shit.
Black Panther broke a whole lot of records. Now, the thing you could say, all right, this is online ticket sales. How much of that is actually a part of, the people who go to see movies? I still think that's significant. The past 7 MCU movies combined, Infinity War is outpacing. And it made me think of the opening weekend box office, which we talked about a little bit. And I was saying, I don't think it has a shot to knock out Force Awakens at number 1 for opening box office, which is at 246, I believe. 246 or 247. And the number 2 is The Last Jedi at around 220. And I thought it will probably crack number 2. I think I said around 226. I'm going to move my prediction to now 238, and I think it has a shot to to dethrone The Force Awakens. I don't think it will, but I think it's got a shot now.
Wow. Okay, I'm curious, because you say it's, on pace to make combined 7 MCU movies before it. Was Black Panther more than the combined 6 before it? Just like you talk about how Black Panther broke all those records.
Yeah. Now the thing with when this came out is I don't know if Fandango worked, and it might not have been Fandango. It could have been another. I believe it was Fandango, but with Netflix, they'll release something and they won't tell you how many people watched it. It was similar to that. They didn't really say what the numbers were, just that Infinity War is outpacing combined 7 previous MCU movies. For Black Panther, I don't remember it saying Black Panther it was, outpacing the previous 6 combined. I do remember it saying it was breaking a lot of records. Civil War, it broke that for pre-sales, and it broke a lot. I don't remember specific ones. To me, I didn't even read any more into it after I heard the previous 7 combined. I was like, shit. My goodness. So, I mean, maybe I could have looked more into what Black Panther did to have more insight on it.
No,
but I was just, when I seen the 7 combined, I was, shit.
Yeah.
I've been saying that the past week since I found out, shit.
Yeah, we talk a lot about, box office, big box office numbers. So I kind of get desensitized to record-breaking numbers and all these stats that are almost completely arbitrary, but it's interesting that it's the 7 films before it combined. But like I said, it's almost like it's nothing to me now just because of the big numbers that we deal with, on this show or just talking about in our personal lives. But I don't remember what my prediction was for Avengers, but
I think it was a little under what
yours.
I had said. I think it was around 216 that you had said.
Okay,
that number.
I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at that, even though, I'm sure it'll be bigger. But eventually, I'm gonna just toss around too many numbers, and I feel like if I land on it, I don't deserve it. So I'm gonna leave it and not make another prediction.
Okay, you're gonna stay there.
Yeah.
All right. Which, and 10 days from now, okay, we're 9 days out of seeing it on the Thursday,
right?
And 10 for the Friday. So in about like 13 days, we're gonna know the number, and I think it's gonna be a number that's gonna be like shit when you see it. This movie,
no, I think so.
I'm
so excited.
I don't see how this movie doesn't make a shitload of money.
No,
and
of course.
I don't want to talk too much about it because I guess to put this out there next week. Well, this week we'll be recording our big MCU extravaganza, so we'll be talking a lot about some Infinity War and MCU movies. But man, this movie, 9 days, can't wait.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about it yesterday. How excited I am. Which there's another big movie that's coming out that's like the exact opposite. So maybe we could transition into that.
We can go into that.
Because, I was trying to do segues as good as you, and I don't think it quite worked as well.
But hey, you know what? We'll go to it. So,
yeah, you know what? Before that, you just mentioned that next week we're going to do our Marvel extravaganza. Just wanted to hit that home again. Next week, I'm really excited to do that. So I think we should plug it again this early on in this episode. Come back because we're going to rank the MCU movies. We're going to do a death pool for Infinity War. It's going to be a hell of a time.
It's going to be a hell of a time. It's going to be a fantastic time.
Yeah, okay.
And I can't wait for it. This is something we talked about, especially with the death pool. We talked about it close to a month ago. And now it's fucking Avengers is going to be here. It's crazy. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to do this.
All right. Let's move on.
Now we can go on a solo Star Wars story. Now, like with the Avengers, trailer came out a little over a week ago now. And we were planning on doing stuff, but timing. Now, I've had time to watch this trailer a few times now. I'm going to assume you have also. Now, for me, there's some stuff to unpack, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
Okay, the first time I watched the trailer was when it came out a week or so ago, and I was underwhelmed, I'd say, to say the least. I think Alden Ehrenreich, who plays Han Solo, doesn't look too good. But I watched it again right before this, and a lot more positive things jumped out to me. So, I'm still lukewarm on this movie. I think Donald Glover as Lando is the most exciting thing about this movie, and that's what I want to see. I think it's shot really well. It's got that Rogue One feel. That seems to be what they're doing with like these spin-off movies, I guess, where they're kind of like bleak and flat. But which, I mean, like, I don't know if that works for a Star Wars movie, but I like the look of it. And what else? It felt very bizarre to end the trailer on a cliffhanger about Chewie getting hurt or dying. I just noticed that the second time I watched it. Like, what a weird way to end the trailer. But maybe that's just a nitpick, just for placement. But yeah, I'm lukewarm on it. Donald Glover is amazing, so I'm excited just for that alone.
Okay, well, when I first watched it, I wasn't over the moon, and I wasn't underwhelmed. I was like, okay, all right. With that being said, my attention was not, I wasn't paying full attention at the trailer the first time I watched it. So the second time I watched it, again, my attention wasn't to it. Just doing something else. And the third time I watched it, now my attention was on it. So I think now I can say I really do like this trailer. Don't love it. I really like it. And again, it's just a trailer. Movie could come out, could suck, could be great. Could be good. One of the two. However, I've got some notes here. Some pretty bad notes, but I'll go over them. So, this Solo movie. From the first trailer, or I guess teaser you can call it, the thing that stood out was when you see Alden Ehrenreich on this beach and he's going for his blaster. To me, I thought that was the money shot of the teaser. You see it quickly here, love it. And like you said, I love the look of it. I mean, I don't know if you said love. See, that's my short-term memory there. But I love the look of it. I do think it's shot beautifully. And I don't remember the guy's name, but he shot Arrival, which I thought was another beautiful.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
Hey, you know what? Let's talk about this game. We see Lando. It's I assume it's a sabacc game where Han eventually wins the Falcon by beating Lando. I don't think that's the match though, that he beats him, and I'll get more to that later. And last week, I think I just talked to you privately about this. They did this Denny's commercial, and they made like a thing of it. People went to Denny's, and they revealed this commercial, and they gave out these cards. And on these character cards, there was this character named Therm Scissor Punch.
Yes, we talked about this privately.
Yeah, okay. So there's this character named Therm Scissor Punch, and okay, it's just going to be a character you see, whatever. And I didn't notice this until the third time I watched this trailer. You see Therm Scissor Punch in that shot when Lando is, it's Han when he walks in and it goes Lando. Therm is to the left of Lando, which would be camera right. So I thought that was, a fun thing. I seen Therm, my man Therm. I didn't think I was going to see my man Therm, but there he was. I was very happy. I want Therm to have at least one line.
I don't think...
What grade of a name is that? Therm Scissor Punch. It's so bad that it's so good.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to actually say that name in the movie. Like,
I would love to hear the name Therm Scissor Punch.
Like, there's a lot of Star Wars characters that have names, but you never hear the names actually said in the movie.
Yeah.
But
I mean...
if someone says Therm Scissor Punch in the movie, I won't complain.
I want to hear it. I want to hear Therm Scissor Punch. That would make the movie for me. It could be like a complete trash movie. If I hear the name Therm Scissor Punch, I'm going to walk out happy.
We should, I'm excited for that. Just,
yeah.
You know what? You know how I said I was lukewarm on the movie? Now I'm fascinated to see if Therm Scissor Punch's role in the movie.
The man, the myth, the legend. Now, before I go on with this trailer, I'll say about Alden Ehrenreich as Solo. For me, and this is not to fault people who want to see him be like the Solo we know, which is Harrison Ford. To me, I don't want to see an impersonation of Harrison Ford. I want to see this is a much younger Solo. And it was released where in the canon this is, in the Star Wars timeline. I'm not going to give you the most accurate placement because I don't remember, but it's around 5 to 10 years from A New Hope. So, like, this is a Solo that's around 25. This is a young guy. It's a young Solo. Totally different than the Solo we meet. I mean, even just thinking, me 2 years ago, totally different person than who I am now. That I'm okay to see a different interpretation of Solo. So I want to, like with James Bond, you'll see Daniel Craig. It's not Pierce Brosnan. It's not Roger Moore. Now, okay, you can say, all right, but the Solo is in the same universe as the Solo we see later. To me, I feel it. I'm okay with it. I made the disconnect that this is not going to be Harrison Ford. It's not going to be the Solo that we've seen in A New Hope. This is going to be a young Solo, and we're going to see how he became to be the Solo we know. So I'm okay with that. I'm not jumping over the moon with things I've seen from Alden, but I'm not like, I don't like this. I'm okay. All right. They've given me a small sample size, but what I've seen, I'm okay with. I like a line in this trailer. Alden says that I've got a good feeling about this, twist on that. I've got a bad feeling about this, but that line is how I feel about this movie. I've got a good feeling about this. To me, I've mentioned this, and I know this isn't what you want from a Star Wars film. But for this one in particular, I just want a fun adventure smuggler's tale. That's all I want. And it looks like I'm getting that. And you see, in this trailer, you see Paul Bettany in there. He's playing the gangster Dryden Voss. So I assume this is the guy that has this mission, that the mission for them to go on, this crew. And you see the moment of Solo getting his blaster, the DL-44, from Tobias Beckett. Woody Harrelson's playing him. You get to see the moment of Chewie, and hey, is that his wife? Are we gonna see some Life Day action going on here?
Oh God.
That's just yeah. Are we gonna see Kashyyyk? And are we gonna see Solo help Chewbacca out? Free him. Is this the life that we're gonna see? I would like to see it. And what else, sir? What do I got? And like you said, Donald Glover. Come on, I just gotta say his name. I think he's, to me, with this movie, is even if Alden is okay, and you don't leave being like, all right, okay, he was okay, or maybe you're leaving saying he's bad. I think the crew around him will be the thing most people leave and say. I love Donald Glover. I love Chewie, Woody, maybe even Emilia Clarke. I think that's the thing. If I'm going to make a prediction, most people will be consistent with of this movie. Because for Donald Glover, I think, from what I've seen, I love it as Lando. And let's see here, what do I got? Oh, okay, here's a line that I love, which may be my favorite line of this trailer. And it is, assume everyone will betray you, and then you'll never be disappointed. It's the line Tobias Beck, Woody Harrelson, says to Han Solo. So, this trailer, overall, I dug it. I'm really looking forward to it. The other day, I was sitting in my room, and I was just thinking, like, wow, we live in a time that, like, 6 months after a Star Wars movie, we're getting another one. And hey, some people might think that's too much for me. I think it's awesome. I love it. And even then, we're going to have the longest break since Star Wars has been back, which is going to be a year and a half.
Shit.
Until the next one. So it'll be a while. Now, there's a TV spot that came out a few days ago. That TV spot was titled Crew, and it was just showing off the crew. Now, it was, you got some new stuff in there. And Han talking to Chewie. And I got to say, Chewie, I love what I see from Chewie. I hope Chewie has more to do in this movie than like The Last Jedi or Force Awakens, which even that I wasn't mad that he didn't have a lot to do. I think what he did for the amount of screen time, I was happy with it. It also, considering you get the Solo movie, that I hope he has this moment in this movie. The thing I take away from this TV spot is, now, it's not like wow, there it is, but it looks a lot like it. There's the shot of them flying through space, or maybe they're just in clouds, and the Falcon's being chased by the Empire. And for a quick, like, split second, you see a ship in there that looks exactly like the Slave One. So,
What's the Slave One?
The Slave One. You want to know what the Slave One is? That is Boba Fett's ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, and you see it for, what
be
looks to be
cool.
the Slave One for a split second, chasing the Falcon. If I'm going to go over under if Boba Fett's going to be in this movie, I got to take like a 65. I'd go over like 65% that he'd be in this movie. I don't know if it's a big role, maybe like a Darth Vader type role as Vader did in Rogue One. How do you feel about that? You think he's going to be in there? You want to see him?
I do want to see him because, he's a classic, cool character from the original Star Wars trilogy, even though he really doesn't do much. He's kind of the Captain Phasma of the original trilogy, right? Where he looks cool, but doesn't do anything. So I think it would be awesome to see him again. But if you're going to put the number at 65, I would say below. I'm going to say under 65, but that being said, that's still above 50, so it's still more likely than it's not likely. So, yeah, I don't think as much as you do, but that'd be cool.
See, the thing is, I think that might change your mind is, and again, you don't fully see it, but if you see this spot,
that's true.
And I seen this video of where it plays in real time and then it's slow motion and even slower. If that's not the Slave One, then they're fucking with me.
Yeah, maybe if I watch that,
because you're going out of your way to then you'd be going out of your way to make a ship that looks exactly like the Slave One for it not to be. And again, it's hard to see. I didn't even see it the first time I watched this TV spot. I just heard people talk about it, and then I seen this video, and it was slowed down. It's really quick, and if you find the one that's slowed down, it's better because it looks exactly like it. So that's why
maybe I'll check that out after this. I'll change my mind more. But
I'm pretty sure he's gonna be in there. I believe it was Empire magazine. They released this photo of Paul Bettany, who's playing Dryden Voss, the gangster, in there, and in the background there's like Mandalorian armor, which is what Boba Fett wears. But it's also got like this samurai look to it, which is a bit different. So, I mean, yeah, it's just armor, but I don't know. I gotta think Boba Fett would be in there, even if it's just a small cameo. I gotta think he's in there. And one thing, before I forget this, is what I wanted to go back to of why when you see this spot game, when Han Solo walks in on the trailer, why I don't think that's the game where he wins the Falcon is because it seems like that's when they're going to get Lando. When Emilia Clarke says, yeah, I know a guy, and then they're there. I think that's when they recruit Lando for this mission. In this TV spot, there's another game, and Solo is in a different outfit. He's there with Chewie. I think what we see in the TV spot is the game where he wins the Falcon. That's just my speculation there. It could be totally wrong, but that's my thoughts.
Damn, I should have watched this TV spot apparently.
Yeah,
That's
it's quick, but there's some new things in there.
I'm impressed with how many character names and item names that without the movie being out. Like Woody Harrelson's name, the name of his blaster. Like these are all things that the canon names, right? Because I don't think they ever say the name of his blaster in the movies.
No,
or,
not
any of
movies.
that.
I don't think so.
I'm impressed because you were just pulling out names while you were talking about it a little earlier, and I was just admiring it. It was good.
Hey, you know what? Like I aside from just like it's from like youth with the role playing games and books and stuff, and now like with each movie that comes out, they release this visual dictionary. And every time I buy these visual dictionaries, I feel like such a fool. But then I just read them because what it is, and like I can even send you a picture of it, or if you look it up, is that it's just a book of just like characters in there or items or aliens, and it just gives you such descriptions that you don't need to know. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, I want to know this, and it's
Well, you get to use it on here because I was impressed.
exactly.
So
Yeah, there we go.
but
I want to mention something. We can move on, and it's about these dice that you see on the Falcon in A New Hope. You got to look for it. But it's more, you see it in, actually, it was supposed to be in The Force Awakens, but it was a deleted scene. And it's obviously very prominent in The Last Jedi, the dice. With Solo, you see the dice when him and Kira, Emilia Clarke, are on, I'm going to assume it's Corellia, when they're in the whatever vehicle, that's a name I don't know, whatever they're in, and they're driving. And you see it more so in the first two teasers. You see the dice there, and there was a promotional picture that came out, and it was of Kira, Emilia Clarke, and she's holding the dice. Now, again, this is just speculation. Could be totally wrong. But, I'm starting to think maybe Kira is where he gets this dice from. Maybe that's, somebody he cared about, and maybe she dies in this movie. I'm starting to me, if I'm piecing things together, if she's holding these dice, if the dice are in the Falcon, the dice are starting to be a bigger thing now. And these two grew up together, is what you hear, I believe is what was also said. Is it just a lucky dice he's got? Is it dice that she gave to him?
yeah, I don't know. Did you
What do you
know
think?
that there? I don't know much about the dice. I think it's very weird that these movies have all had this dice element to it, or just like The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens had a deleted scene
Yeah.
with it. Did you know about that?
Yes.
Oh, because I heard that in The Last Jedi commentary or something that J.J. Abrams had this scene or something to do
Yeah.
with the dice, and then that got cut, but they kept it in The Last Jedi. I thought that was interesting, and I couldn't even begin to speculate about what the dice mean or where they come from. I would just put that all on you. You seem like you know what you're talking about when it comes to it, but like maybe honestly, I don't even know if I care either. Like it's a bizarre little thing to streamline throughout these movies. It's
Well,
just
it's a small thing, and
yeah, no, it's
I
definitely
don't remember
small.
the full story of how the dice came about, but like I think it was George just put the dice in there in A New Hope, and it was just something that was there to see if anybody spots it. People spotted it, and then they took it out, and then now they're going back to the dice. And I mean, I think it's a small thing, but I think it's a cool little thing. And with Solo, for some kids out there, Solo is going to be the first movie they see, and you say, well, it was bizarre to leave it on a cliffhanger, the trailer of what's going to happen to Chewie, because we know what happens to Chewie. But for some kid out there who maybe it's the first time seeing this trailer, could be their first Star Wars movie. It's their first time meeting Han, first time Chewie, and then if this dice is a thing, the more they go into it, it could mean more to, you know, the new generation coming up.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying with the
nice
dice
small
thing.
little thing, and it gives them more meaning if you see it, and if it sticks with you, if you think it works in the movie, and if that works for you, gives you more meaning when you see the dice.
No, I
You
think
can
the dice thing is
that's
cool
what the dice is.
for like what you were saying, like a newer generation of Star Wars fans. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know if I buy the whole Chewie cliffhanger thing for newer fans because like everyone knows Chewbacca. Like if you buy Star Wars merch or if you're a kid and you play with Star Wars toys, you know he's there and you know he exists and everything. But like it's a small little complaint, just like they could have put that scene with Chewie anywhere else in the trailer and I wouldn't care. It's just a weird way.
Yeah, myself, I thought it was weird when I seen it, but that's because I'm like, why are we leaving it there? Whatever happens, what if he gets nicked in the face? Okay, cool, it's gonna be fine. But I mean, the way I thought of it, maybe as someone who's never seen Star Wars, they see it, or a new generation coming up, it's their first time. Then okay, those are my thoughts on Solo. That's my speculation about these dice and Kira. I think she's toast in this movie. I think she's dead. I don't think she's going to be the one to betray Han. Sure, it'll be Woody Harrelson.
That's
Tobias
Emilia
Beck.
Clarke that you're talking about?
Yeah, Emilia Clarke, yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm going to put up my speculation, that's going to be maybe his first love. She dies. Maybe he gets betrayed. She dies. There's the dice. Or maybe, who knows? Maybe the dice was just, they both had dice and it was lucky dice on Corellia. Who knows? Could be
Maybe
just
they like
ridiculous.
Yahtzee.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've like this movie is like, yeah, I'm lukewarm. I'm more interested in like hearing your thoughts and speculations and your insights about the characters is more making it more interesting to me. I think just because like I didn't really think this much about this movie. Like I watched the trailer, I'm like, yeah, it's a movie, but like you start talking into like, you know, you get all nerdy about it, and that's fascinating. Like when you talk about speculation and like these characters, I think what you said earlier is the most important thing, and that something I agree with the most about what you said is that if people don't really like this movie, they're still gonna enjoy the cast of characters that we've been introduced to. Like Woody Harrelson is an amazing actor, Emilia Clarke is great, you know, Donald Glover is amazing. So even if the movie's subpar, we're still gonna have these characters that we'll love. Hopefully, I think that that's true. I agree with that. You said earlier.
Yeah, I mean, myself, I got faith in Ron Howard. I got faith in Lawrence Kasdan and his son with the script. I've got faith, and again, I mean, I've seen trailers for movies that I've seen the trailer, I'm like, wow, that's a fan-fucking-tastic trailer. Turns out to be a shit movie. I've seen trailers, and I'm like, that's kind of a shitty trailer, and I've loved the movie, so hopefully I dig it. It's coming up soon, which is the thing about it, what feels weird to me is that, like, with it Star Wars coming out in December the past few years, I like the December date. However, I understand why you tried to do the May date again, see what happens there. And it's such a weird feeling because I'm excited for it and the closer we get to it. But we have Avengers.
Oh, I'm
we
so
have
excited
Avengers,
for Avengers,
and like 3 or 4 weeks later, then we have Solo. Aside from the that would be 4 weeks after. It's 3 weeks after Avengers. What do we get? We get Deadpool. It feels crazy that we're getting these 3 movies that, I mean, for me, any year would be probably my number one anticipated, but now we get these all within like a month span. It feels
that's great.
Overwhelming, man.
Yeah.
I just can't take it.
Like,
I can. I want it more.
Maybe after Avengers and, you know, after Deadpool or closer to Solo, I'll start to get more excited. But right now, I'm just like on that Avengers train. I'm so excited for that.
Well, and again, we're going to be, I guess, to plug again, our next show. It's our MCU extravaganza.
Yes.
But I got to say, I've been rewatching a lot of the movies, and I think I've mentioned this before, but the new opening, especially when it came with Doctor Strange, the new Marvel opening. To me, it's not like when Lucasfilm comes up in a long time ago, Galaxy Far, Far Away, and then boom. It's not like that. However, the feeling I get now is still something very special, I'll say. When that new opening comes up, which, I mean, that's about 2 years of new now. Just when it comes up, Marvel, you see all like the clips from the old movies, and they got this nice theme behind it that it gets me charged up every time now.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that new trailer. I mean, sorry, not that new intro.
Yeah, I love it, and I like the other ones before, but this one it's like Star Wars opening now. Like that's it right there, which it's really hitting home for me.
Yeah,
and with last year with the 3 coming out, and this is why I wouldn't be opposed to 2 Star Wars movies a year. Now I can understand why some people wouldn't, but I mean, if you give it to me, I would like 1 a year. Give it to me in December, but I wouldn't be mad with 2 a year. And the reason why I think to last year when we have the 3 MCU movies, Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, Thor, Ragnarok, every time that opening came on, I just got the chills, and I'm into it. Now, just an opening is not going to make me really like the movie, but it's a feeling that you get, and I love it. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I agree on that opening.
Sure. Yeah, I agree for sure. But I'm running out of things to say about this.
Yeah,
so
we're doing good on time. So this is where I want to ask you if you've seen any movies recently.
You know what? I have. And we made a joke about seeing it last week. Or was it the week before?
What did I say?
We were talking about how we were going to go see A Quiet Place, but then we joked about seeing Blockers.
Oh, right, yes.
I've seen Blockers.
Yes. Oh, you've seen Blockers.
Yes.
Now, okay.
Have you?
Now, I have a few questions.
Okay.
First off, I heard good things from it, like more reviews that were good. I had a somewhat friend see the movie. I don't trust his, like, you know when you have like a friend, or just even when you listen to reviewers, that you are just so opposite from their taste of movies that, like, and again, film is all subjective, and not to attack people who think this way, but like everybody has that one person they know that for like, if it's a good movie, great, or just funny movie comes out, they just are like fucking hated it. But then it could be the like a 50 Shades Dark or 50 Shades Freed, and they're like, it was the best movie of the year. This is this type of guy. So he's seen it, and he was like, it was honestly the worst thing I've ever seen. So I'm curious to hear, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was great. Like, like really great, like consistently funny. And I was surprised. I saw it with my girlfriend and my roommate, and we were all surprised with how, like, we had a great time. We laughed consistently, and like the whole theater laughed a lot, and I was surprised. All 3 of us were surprised, and it falls short. It's not a perfect movie. It falls short on a lot of the emotional elements that it's trying to do, but it's a movie called Blockers with a fucking rooster in front of it. So like, it's got John Cena. It's not trying to be too heartfelt, or I mean, it doesn't have to be too heartfelt. It is trying to be, but no, I would recommend this movie to anyone. It's got like it's still that like modern style of comedy where it's a bunch of funny people and they say funny things. You know, you could tell, I'm sure a lot of it's improvised. It's that kind of thing, but it works so well. And the main girls in it, I believe there's 3 or 4 of them. They're so funny. Like scenes with just them. I don't know any of their names, at least not right now. I could pull it up on my phone, I imagine, but all of them are amazing, and their chemistry is so good, and they're so believable that like you would think a group of like horny kids could get annoying after a while, but it doesn't. It's consistently funny, and I was surprised, like a light 8 out of 10. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you're going high there.
Yeah.
See, that right there makes me want to see it more. I already did want to see it just based on other things I heard aside from the one. And I see mostly the TV spots and trailers, and they seemed funny. And that endorsement right there.
See, I didn't really have any interest based off the trailers. Like, I know I was probably going to see it, but it didn't stand out like, oh, this is going to be the funniest movie of the year or whatever. But seeing it, it's like, it's so much better than the trailer, I thought, in the trailers. But you know.
So my question is, game night or Blockers?
Game night.
Okay.
Game night's like a strong 9. Blockers like a light 8. You know, kind of like Game Night's the smarter movie, and I think I had more fun with Game Night. But Blockers, don't sleep on Blockers. Just because there's another comedy this year that's stronger than it doesn't mean it's not a great time at the movies.
Yeah. I think that sounds like a very good endorsement.
Yeah.
And I will check it out.
Yeah, you should. But, I don't think I've seen anything else lately that's worth mentioning. I just, I'm glad I gave Blockers a shout out because it surprised me, and I think it will surprise you.
All right. Yeah, I haven't seen anything recently myself. The last thing I saw was A Quiet Place. And there's a few movies that came out that I was intrigued to see. I still might, but I've just been very busy. Next week is Avengers.
Yeah.
And I'm just, my mind is on Avengers now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go for an hour and a half drive. No, I guess it's not an hour and a half. It's like an hour 15 maybe to see Isle of Dogs. Because I really want to see that, and the only theater it's playing is way up by Toronto, so.
Oh my.
It's going to be a hike, but I'll do it for Isle of Dogs, but.
Yeah.
Nothing else, just got to wait for the Avengers, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a successful day. I've said it all, and
yeah,
I'll plug one more time, and then you can plug one more time after that.
Sure, let's do it.
Our next show, MCU. We're gonna do a whole, what are our favorite MCU movies? We're gonna do a nice death pool. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we kept this episode short because the next episode is gonna be wild. And we actually just kept this short because there wasn't much going on, and it's kind of a late episode anyways. But, next episode, that's the episode to listen to. But in the meantime, you could follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, give us 5 stars on iTunes. Jake and Ben Show on all the platforms. You'll find us. Yeah, we really appreciate that. And, hopefully this short episode was enough to satisfy. We had our Quiet Place review, so you just add it all up and it's like a regular episode.
Yeah.
But, I think that's it.
I think that's it. I've said it all. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think so. So we're going to try and record our Marvel episode on Saturday. Hopefully we get back to the regular time without any of these weird hiccups, and then get back in the mojo. Is that a thing? Is that a thing people say? Back in the mojo? I don't think
as often these days. Maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Okay. Well, we're bringing it back here.
Yeah, we'll bring it back.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you to Jackson for the art and the music. And that's all. Goodbye for now.
See you next time.